Howdy folks, Friedemann Findeisen here from Holistic Songwriting. Something a little different today. No songwriting, but still creative, and since we're all stuck at home, maybe a nice change of pace. So about a month ago, I released the Canohead escape room, and it's been an absolute blast watching you guys bang your heads against the wall trying to crack these codes. We have about a handful of people who have managed to beat all 12 levels, so I feel this is a good a time as any to reveal the answers to the first 3 levels. If you want to have a crack at the Canohead escape room yourself, check the link in the description. It's free. You don't have to sign up. There is a donate button if you want to send some love my way, but there's no further requirements for you to do anything. Before we get into it, I created this escape room to promote the album release for my album Subface, which is Deftones meets Korn. So if you're into that kind of thing, check it out. You do not need to listen to the music to be able to solve the escape room, though. That's everything for now. Let's get to the puzzles. So level 1 is the spiral. I'm gonna give you the spoilers, the hints I gave on the website as well, so you have a chance to try to solve this one yourself right now. The first hint was turn it digital. Then we had the last hint was actually 2 hints. The final answer has 9 characters, and the final hint was start by looking for a number. Okay, so that was the 4 hints. Let's see if we can solve this one together. So. Let's actually start with the hint that said that the final answer needs to have 9 characters. Okay, if you look at this long enough, you'll realize that there's actually 9 portions, 9 sections that this spiral here can be divided into. Now, what does that help us? Well, we know that probably each section here corresponds to 1 letter or to 1 character in the final answer. Right. We also know that we are supposed to look for a number first. So the way we do that is, if we look at each individual section, we have this second clue, turn it digital and start by looking for a number. So this kind of looks like a clock, right? So what do we think of when we hear turn it digital? Well, maybe we can turn this clock thing into the numbers, right? And since we're starting to look for a number, that's our clue. Here's what you could do. You could look at how much time has passed with each individual section. So this here, for example, would be a 5. And then the second one here would be a 7, and so on and so forth until you end up with this number. Now that's still not the final solution, because usually these puzzles here are 2-step puzzles. So that's why we have to look at that clue again, turn it digital. For that, we have to turn it into actual digital ciphers. And then, because the other clue was that clue number 1 was actually 2 clues, it says turn it digital, which refers to actually turning that digital number. So we end up with this. And then there you have your answer. The answer is eggshells. Okay, so that's puzzle number 1, eggshells. That brings us to puzzle number 2. This is called Deja Vu. And here's the puzzle, the tips that I actually gave on this one. The first one was the only 2 important things about this painting are the 4 numbers 33, 21, 14, 13, and the teeth. And then we had the clue, you see this every day. And it's 4 numbers, or is it 8 numbers in pairs of 2? Okay, so the clue that we want to start with here is you see this every day. And then the title of the URL of this website was Deja Vu. So that tells you that it's maybe something that you've kind of already seen before, right? So you already had that hint a little bit before I actually gave it in the comments. So what are these teeth? So if you look at this long enough, you might realize that these tiles that we have here, the teeth, we have 26 of them. Okay, now if you do a little bit of thinking, you might realize, well, that corresponds to the number of letters we have in our alphabet. And so once you understand that, that might lead you down a path where you realize, well, you see this every day. Maybe it corresponds to something you see every day on your phone. So this is actually what's being pictured here. So that's, again, it's just step 1. We have to still figure out what the numbers mean and then translate this into a kind of answer. But at this point, things are pretty simple. We kind of make a grid. So we have the 4 numbers, or is it 8 numbers in pairs of 2? Well, we start by making a grid like this, and then the first number of each of these 2-digit numbers is going to be our row, and the second one is going to be our column. Okay, So I know they're not perfect columns, but for example, 3-3 here would be, we moved 3 letters from the Z, ZXC. So C would be our first letter. The second one would be an A, that's 2-1. The third one would be 1-4, so that's an R. And the fourth one is 1-3, so that's an E. And so the correct answer here is care, right? Just like one of the songs off of the album. So that's puzzle number 2. Puzzle number 3 is called Talk to Me. So for this one, I gave the following hints. Number 1, tic-tac-toe. And number 2, the URL gives you a big clue. So let's figure out what that's supposed to mean. So the first clue was tic-tac-toe. And if we actually write that down, if we draw a grid like this, it might actually give us a first idea of how to solve this clue. There's something called a pig pen cipher. So in case you're not familiar with a pig pen, it's basically a way where, for example, in the first upper left corner there, we might write A, B, C. In the second one, it says D, E, F. And then the corner that we see in the code indicates which corner we pick, and the dot indicates which of the 3 letters we would pick. If you try that out here, it won't work because that's not the solution of the puzzle quite yet. So there's another layer to it, and that's the talk to me clue. Once you look at it a little bit longer, you might realize that talk to me might again refer to your phone. So we get this kind of pig pen. And if we incorporate that into our tic-tac-toe system, we actually get this kind of a pig pen. And so now if we look at the first character over here, which looks again like this, we can find that over here in our pig pen. So the first letter would be a D. Then our second character would be this shape here, which again, we can find that over here. So our second letter would be an O. And we can continue like this for the remainder of the word. So this is number 3. So that would be a W. And that gives us, in total, it gives us the word downward. And that's the solution for puzzle number 3. Now, if you enjoy these puzzles, this is just part 1. I'm going to be releasing videos for the remainder of the puzzles as well. But if you enjoy this, I want to use this opportunity to thank a couple of people who have worked with me on the album, who I'm eternally indebted to. I'm so grateful for your work on this. Mako Maya on the drums, you did such a fantastic job, man. I just love those drums. Charlie on the mixing did such a phenomenal job. Everyone I've shown the album to just absolutely has loved the mixing. I mean, when I heard it for the first time, I just freaked out. It was just the best I've ever sounded on anything. Glenn Schick did the mastering, did a fantastic job at that. Niklas Hea was in charge of the programming for the escape room. So many thanks to you, man. It just turned out really, really fantastic. And Bahadur Fatemi did all the artwork that you can see here and for all the escape rooms. And he did a fantastic job as well. And I want to thank you guys. First and foremost, you did such a wonderful job on this whole project. And without you, it wouldn't have worked. So I am so, so thankful. Thank you.